Foundation inspection. We've got a little bit of erosion here. It's caused by runoff. What's actually happening is this roof here is shedding water onto here, and it's just flooding down and it's overrunning the gutter. That would easily be solved by putting a gutter diverter up there just to stop the water coming down here. You can see it's hitting the grade here, splashing up on the foundation itself. Exposed post-tension cable end there, that needs to be covered up. We're at the rear elevation here, and you can see there's lots of mulch here, and the mulch is in contact with the brickwork, allow moisture to get into the building, so that needs to be raked back. These bushes are too close to the building, too many of them. Bushes actually expirate a lot of water, and water being removed from the grade next to the building and the foundation can lead to foundation issues. Again, you see the grade is too high here, it's touching bricks. There's no wheat poles over the top of this steel lintel. This is the right hand elevation, still looking at the foundation. There's another post tension cable showing. That's at the right elevation, just beside the garage. Grade inspection. Got a good slope of the grade here. Look at the front, it slopes very nicely away. The tree here, you want to restrict the growth of that tree by keeping the canopy cut back. Otherwise it's going to go and affect the foundation, its roots, and in time the tree canopy itself, if it touches the roof, can lead to damaging it. Just trimming it, keeping it in order will prevent that happening. Another tree here, that's sufficiently far from the house not to worry. Now these trees here are not good, they're going to grow very, very tall. I recommend that you have those removed. Likewise the crepe myrtle, you need to not allow them to grow any taller than they are now. They need to be cut back hard. Again, they'll grow very tall, turn into a very large tree, and of course they put out large roots, and it's roots that actually lead to foundation issues. So the grade at the front, apart from the trees, good. Left hand elevation, flat work, it's in good condition, no apparent cracks in it at the present moment. There's a grade at the rear elevation of the fence running down the swale. There is a gap between the bottom of the fence and the swale, which is good. Here the landscaping is draining down towards the back of the building, and you've got a swale to take it out. Around the swimming pool you have good flat work. It's got drainage in the flat work, and I can feel as I walk through it, it drops down, which is good. We go to the rear right elevation. It's all good here, nice slope away from the building. The drainage is going to go back down here. Got a dip in the grade here that may trap water. Looks like it does, because it's got a lot longer grass, but that needs to be monitored. Probably the thing to do would be just to build it up a bit if it looks like a problem. But in this dry weather, there's no way I can tell it is a problem. I can just indicate that there's possibly an issue here. This is the roof inspection right up front. I'm going to tell you I cannot walk on this roof, it's too steep. There is an advantage in steep roofs. They shed water very well. However, this house has a couple of little problems. One problem is up there. You can see that we have a flue, and it's adjacent to a roof vent. In this situation, the flue gases coming out of the flue can re-enter the attic through that vent. Once in the attic, they can get into the air handler and spread them around the whole of the house. It's a safety issue. That flue needs to be extended at least another 2, maybe 3 feet, take it well clear of the roof and the vent. Alright, on the right elevation, again cannot go on the roof because of the pitch. Up here we have another roof vent and a flue close by. It's going to be dangerous. This is the front elevation. There's a lifting shingle up there, and there's a damaged shingle here. The two flues in the video image here are too close to the vent. The vents need to be extended up to clear the roof and prevent gases getting back down into that roof vent. We have a damaged gutter here. This is a wall and window inspection. We look at the small garage here and look over the top of it. You can see that we have a crack, and it's running up over the top of the lintel, then up here, see? Crack. And then also over the arch here. Now the lintel itself has a weep hole, so that should be draining okay. Then we got signs of separation here. So I would say there's possibly some separation. Well, this separation is caused by settlement on the right hand rear elevation here. I'm standing to the right of the garage door and I'm looking at the window here, and it has no caulking whatsoever. It's going to allow hot air and cold air in this winter, and water, more importantly water, to penetrate the building. These electrical outlets should have a bubble cover on them to protect them if they're in use while it's raining. We're now looking at the wall over the garage, the large lintel here. Alright, yeah, we have a little bit of settlement in the lintel, and you can see how it actually has formed a crack. Now, the thing about these cracks are pretty normal. This is not a structural wall, it's a veneer, it's a finish. It's there to make the house look nice. It could be a siding. In fact, we could have called it brick siding. Simply there for that reason, so it's not structural. But it indicates with brick when things are moving, and this is just moving here. It's probably the lintel. There's a large amount of brick over the top of it, and the lintel's just settled with the weight of the brick roll. There's a little bit of a settlement crack here, again due just to common settlement. These cracks should be sealed. You can get a mortar, a silicone mortar, looks like mortar, or a silicone fill, looks like mortar, to seal it. Stop water getting in. If water gets in there in the winter and it freezes, it's going to make the gap bigger and it'll make the problem worse. Now the stonework here, the mortar is cracking and falling out, just needs to be repointed. Yeah, there's a bit of cracking in the mortar here. It needs to be sealed. Now, large window for the office. There's lots of cracking around the side of the window here, and the mortar on the stonework. I would prefer the stonework to be a continuous here, but you know, it's been put in 3 parts. That needs to be filled and sealed, otherwise you're going to get water in. caulking around the house. It's in generally poor condition. It's about right. It's probably 5-6 years old, and the sun in Texas wears it. And here you can see we've got a hole in the caulking. A little bit of the stonework has broken away, and as a result water will be penetrating into the wall, into the office. We're at the portico. It's all crack, settlement crack at the portico here. Again, the window caulking and the stonework is in need of repair. It's going to leak. Small things like this can lead to quite disastrous problems if they're not addressed, because over time you get water in there, it damages everything, you know, the insulation, etc, etc. The worst thing that can happen is mold can occur. There's a gap between the fascia board and the brickwork. In fact, the fascia board has moved. You can see where it was painted originally, and now we can see unpainted surface. As a result, a little bit of settlement, it moves. What needs to happen is that needs to be caulked, otherwise you're going to get water into there. I'm at the rear left elevation. And we are close to the air conditioning units. Here they are now. And just a point here, you can see where the silicone has cracked and come away. That needs to be resealed. Without that being resealed, we're going to get water penetration. These are pillars, brick pillars. They're actually not structural. What's structural is the lumber inside. It's a large piece of structural wood supporting the roof above it. What should happen is there should be there should be weep holes in the actual brickwork to allow air to circulate, and if water does penetrate, for it to dry out. This is walking attic. The insulation's been disturbed. All is about 12 to 13 inches of insulation that's been blown in. There's a lot of insulation that's been disturbed throughout. Okay, but originally it had, looking at the indicators, the gauges, about 18 inches. You have between 12 and 16 inches of insulation. water heater. It's in a safety pan. There's corrosion, which you can see on the water heater itself. And there's corrosion on this pipe here. What that normally indicates, sadly, is that when you get corrosion on the pipes like we see here, it indicates that the pipe, the actual tank itself, is coming to the end of its working life. Water tanks in this area only last about 6 to 8 years because of the very acidic water. As a consequence, they spring leaks. Now, this being in an attic, it's the last place you want it to spring a leak, although it has a safety pan and a drain line, which is good. This is a temperature pressure relief valve. Let's see if it works. You should do this regularly, and it's not. So the temperature pressure relief valve is jammed. It's a safety issue, it needs to be I'm in the upper attic. We have 2 vents here. They're opposite each other at the apex. They're going to be useless. They're short circuit. Air will come in this one here and go out of that one, or vice versa. They will not work. In fact, they're going to prevent air from being drawn through the soffits, as is what we want. Now we're in the attic now, and you can see what I was saying in the other part of the report where I talked about the vents and the flues being close together. Here's the flue, here's the vent, and so that goes out the flue and can come straight back into the attic and down into the air handler and spread it around the house. It's also true of this one here. And also the water heater. Door inspection. We have weather seal, lock. Oh good. Let's have a look in the garage. Operate the garage door. Reverse, good. Entrance door. Interior wall and window inspection. There's signs of hail damage at the front right elevation, and I recommend that you get a roofing company or an insurance company come and inspect the roof of this house to tell you whether or not there's been any damage. As an inspector in Texas, I'm not allowed to tell you whether it's hail damage or not, because I'm not qualified to do that. But you can easily get somebody to come and have a look at this roof. You'll need special ladders, and they'll have it to get up here and to decide whether or not there actually is hail damage on this roof. Grounding bar, electrical meter, standing in the games room on the second floor, and as I walk into the bedrooms over the garage on the right elevation, the temperature rises distinctly. I can only conclude that the air conditioning is not working in this part of the building. It's this room I'm in now and the small bathroom that's very warm. It's a good 10-12 degrees higher than the games room, which is adjacent to it right here. So I highly recommend that you get an air conditioning engineer in to have a look at the system and to tell you whether or not there's an issue with it or something that's simply solved with some adjustments. three furnaces are burning. These are enclosed, so I can't actually see the flame, but I can measure the temperature at the flue. Now we have a temperature of 110 maximum. There's some blue flame through there, just spotted. 110, 108. Faucet on the utility sink in the laundry is loose. So we have full functional flow. And the faucet here is loose, you can see it moves. It needs to be sealed around here to stop the water getting in. This is the water meter and isolation valve to the house. Up here, in amongst the bushes, is the clear outs. There are two, one next to the foundation, one just in the bushes here. They're used to clear the sewer should it get blocked. The water pressure is too high, it reads at 100 pound, it should be no more than 80. In fact, it should be between 40 and 80, so you're going to need to have this regulated down. This is a hook up to the washer. This is the cold faucet and there's a slow leak from it. I can't turn it off, the valve actually needs to be replaced. Hydrotherapy tub running. The tub has a GFCI that is actually located in the closet. Here it is, and you can hear it's gone off. That turns it back on again. Dishwasher. It's running, the soap tray has opened, there's no apparent rust. The ovens should be up to temperature now, been on for about 3/4 of an hour. 397. Okay, yeah. 325, 320. Yeah, it's coming up to temperature. station 1 of the irrigation system. It's the front right yard, front left side front yard flower beds. Front yard. Front yard, left elevation. Left elevation with the side yard. It's rear yard. This is the landscaping at the rear left elevation. All the sprinklers are in operation. Irrigation system at the rear right elevation. The sprinklers serving the flower beds and the landscaping around the pool. They're up and running. This is the flower. This is the irrigation system for the right rear elevation. It's the irrigation system for the right side elevation, goes along the side of the drive. We're operating fine. Infrared scan of the building. We're going to be looking at plumbing points first off on the ground floor. There's no real insulation on the top floor, but there is on the ground floor. Let's see if we can focus it. Okay, yeah, so there's a confirmed leak at the hot cold water faucet for the washer. There appears to be no leak behind the wall. Okay, that's good. We'll have a look in one of the bathrooms. There's water in the P-trap, but there's no water where it shouldn't be. Yep, water in the P-trap. That's all good. No signs of any water around the fixtures and fittings. We're now going to scan the upstairs. As we do, we're going to be looking at outlets to make sure that they're not overheating. There's a chase behind here. Just confirm it. Oh, it's the garage. Okay. There's missing insulation from the garage wall around where the switch is. You can see this bright signature. On the camera. And the area it's actually missing the insulation is the wall. Starting here, you can see my little laser light. And it runs right the way up here, all the way up to the top. There's no insulation in that wall at that point. You see it starts here, see where the camera changes. So that's going to let a lot of heat in. Let's go and have a look upstairs. So far we've not found any electrical hot wires, which is good. Yeah, missing insulation. See it in the camera, on the infrared camera. It's in the corner here.